Right, well, I'm going to begin, Francis, by asking, I mean, it must be so encouraging for you to know that blockbusters these days can have these deep social, political meanings and study war and kind of social, political situations and still be epic in scale. That must be quite a great sign and must set a real precedence for the kind of blockbuster going forward.
I hope so. I mean, I have to say it's one of the things that I feel really lucky to be involved with. You know, this is, it's a rare thing, actually, I think, but to have been invited into a series of stories with such great characters, such great actors, great narrative, but that's actually about something and makes people think and is wildly popular is an incredible feeling.
And was it quite a challenge to convey the brutality of war and yet appease what is effectively quite a sort of young crowd?
It was tricky. I needed to definitely be careful, and I was very mindful of the visual approach to the violence in this movie, because part of the appeal, and this is, you know, it was trickier in this, but it's always been the problem with these movies, right? Part of the appeal is that the books themselves don't pull any punches, and that's part of why kids like them, right? They don't feel talked down to. They don't feel like they're being treated like children. They don't feel sheltered by the author, and I don't want them to feel that when they see these movies, and so I have to approach it in a way where the violence still has impact, but I'm exploring the emotional consequences as opposed to the gore and the carnage. So it was really about what it was that I was focusing on with the violence that became important.
Because as you said, we don't see too much violence or much blood for that matter. I mean, was that an artistic choice? Were they almost restrictions placed upon you?
No, I mean, I knew there would be restrictions, so what I decided to do was find the artistic choice up front. So we still had some back and forth with the ratings board, but for the most part, it wasn't like I had to pull out or clean up a bunch of blood that I was using. I knew we were going to be minimal on blood. I knew things would be shrouded in smoke. I knew some violence would be implied. I knew I would hide carnage behind smoke or rubble and things like that. So that was always the plan from the beginning.
I mean, the support for this movie is the whole franchise is remarkable. I was in Leicester Square on Monday, so a few days ago, and there were people camping out for the premiere, which was obviously last night, which is 3 days. I mean, does that add an added pressure, though, to you to know that this is a film and a whole series that means so much to so many people? Is that something that you have to bear in mind, or you try to just ignore that?
No, I mean, I put enough pressure anyway. You just want the movie to be the best it can be for everybody. And, you know, it's kind of the filmmaker's job to sort of use visual, cinematic language in a way possible to tell a story that reaches and touches as many people as possible. That pressure is always there, right? The fans, to me, have always been really supportive. So the people I'm not worrying about the people that are camping out for 5 days. I know they'll love the movie. Like, I adore them, and I love the support, and I feel that support, and that actually helps me. But I definitely don't feel pressure because of them.
Of course, this marks Phillip Seymour-Hoffman's very final screen appearance. I mean, just what was it like directing one of the most remarkable actors of his generation? It must have been a real privilege.
Yeah, it was definitely a privilege. It was an incredible experience. I think we all, and I could speak for all of the actors, even including Donald, who's a real veteran, we were all so excited when he joined the franchise. And so he worked about 3 weeks on Catching Fire. We just kind of got to know each other. He really loved the way that turned out. And then he had much more to do in the Mockingjay movies. And so it became a lot of fun. And he was around other people he was familiar with. He had worked with Julianne a bunch, so being around her was kind of fun. He'd already gotten to know Jen now from the movies, so the dynamic was great, and I learned a ton from him. He's so good at kind of working scenes and relationships and figuring things out, and loves to talk and loves to rehearse, and so it was a fantastic experience.
And just finally, obviously, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is remarkable the whole way through this entire franchise. We've seen her grow so much as an actress over this time. Have you noticed her growing as a person in that period as well?
Yeah, I'd say mostly. I mean, the great thing is that she's kind of the same girl. She's still the same kind of genuine, you know, heart and soul, real girl, funny, goofy, smart, talented, you know, all that. I think the biggest changes for me are the sides of her that have to deal with the outside world, you know, because that's kind of what's really radically changed around her. And so having to watch her navigate that and find her place and how to live in that changed world, that's where I've seen the biggest changes.
Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You